What if I told you that airlines are making record profits while you're paying 25% more for the exact same seat you sat in last year? What if the supply shortage excuse they keep feeding you is actually a carefully orchestrated strategy to squeeze every last dollar from your wallet? Today, we're exposing the 12 hidden reasons why flight prices have skyrocketed in 2025, and most of these have nothing to do with fuel costs or pilot shortages. From secret pricing algorithms that track your browsing history to deliberate capacity manipulation that creates artificial scarcity, we're pulling back the curtain on the aviation industry's biggest money-making schemes. Some of these tactics are so ruthless that even airline insiders are shocked by how far their own companies will go. The industry has spent billions perfecting these psychological tricks while keeping passengers completely in the dark about what's really driving these insane prices. Hit subscribe, because this intelligence is pure gold, and airlines definitely don't want this information getting out. Let's dive into the dirty secrets that will change how you book flights forever. Secret 1. The browsing history price manipulation. Picture this. You search for flights to Paris on Monday morning, see a price of $650 and decide to think about it. You come back Tuesday evening and suddenly that same flight is $750. Coincidence? Absolutely not. But here's what they don't tell you. Airlines use sophisticated tracking cookies and IP address monitoring to identify when you've searched for specific routes before. They literally raise prices for returning visitors because they know you're interested and more likely to pay. Studies from MIT show that airlines increase prices by an average of $100 for users who return to search the same route within 48 hours. They're basically punishing you for being a careful shopper. Here's what smart travelers do. Always search for flights in incognito mode. Clear your cookies between searches, or better yet, use a VPN to change your apparent location. This alone can save you hundreds of dollars per booking. Airlines hate when passengers know about this browser manipulation. Secret 2. The fake capacity shortage. Here's what happens when you see those only 3 seats left. Warnings flashing on booking sites. Panic and click book now immediately, right? That urgency is completely manufactured. But here's what they don't tell you. Airlines deliberately hold back inventory to create artificial scarcity. Industry whistleblowers reveal that major carriers typically release only 60–70% of their actual available seats during initial booking phases. The truth is, airlines use dynamic inventory management systems that release seats in strategic waves. They'll show sold out on Tuesday, then mysteriously have 20 seats available on Wednesday at higher prices. It's pure psychological manipulation. Data shows that flights labeled as nearly full often have 15–30% of seats still available. They're just being held in different booking classes or saved for last-minute premium pricing. Here's what smart travelers do. If you see a sold-out flight, check back in 48 hours. Often, those unavailable seats will reappear at even higher prices. Airlines profit massively from this artificial scarcity while passengers pay premium prices for seats that were always available. Secret 3. The Southwest. Betrayal that changed everything. Picture this. Southwest Airlines was the last holdout against baggage fees, proudly advertising bags fly free for over a decade. Then in May 2025, they quietly announced the end of an era, and passengers were furious. But here's what they don't tell you. Southwest didn't make this change because of financial pressure. Internal documents reveal they made this decision to boost revenue by an estimated $2.1 billion annually. They were actually profitable with free bags. They just wanted more money. The real kicker? Southwest's new baggage fees are actually higher than most legacy carriers. Their first checked bag now costs $40 compared to $35 at American and United. They positioned themselves as the low-cost option, then became more expensive than their competition. Industry analysis shows that Southwest's decision triggered a ripple effect, with other airlines raising their own baggage fees by 15–20% in the months following Southwest's announcement. Here's the brutal truth. There's now officially no major U.S. airline that offers free checked bags for basic economy passengers. The last consumer-friendly policy in aviation just died. Airlines collectively profit over $7 billion annually from baggage fees alone, money that used to be included in your ticket price. Secret 4. The algorithm that watches your shopping patterns. You're being profiled, not just tracked. actively profiled based on your shopping behavior, and airlines adjust prices accordingly. But here's what they don't tell you. Major booking platforms use machine learning to analyze how long you spend looking at flights, which amenities you click on, and even how you scroll through results. If their algorithm determines you're a premium buyer, prices automatically increase. Studies from Stanford University found that users who search for business class first, then switch to economy, are shown higher economy prices than users who only search economy. The system assumes you have a higher budget and prices accordingly. Airlines also track seasonal patterns in your searches. If you typically book summer vacations or holiday flights, they flag your account and show you higher prices during peak seasons. Here's what smart travelers do. Always start with the most basic search possible. Avoid clicking on premium options and never let algorithms know your true preferences. This behavioral profiling can add $200, $500 to your ticket prices without you even realizing it. Secret 5, hidden fuel fee that never disappears. Remember, when airlines introduced fuel surcharges during oil crises, those were supposed to be temporary fees that would disappear when fuel prices dropped. Spoiler alert, they never disappeared. But here's what they don't tell you. Jet fuel prices in 2025 are actually lower than they were in 2018. Yet airlines are still collecting fuel surcharges and have simply renamed them as carrier-imposed fees or administrative charges. Government data shows that while jet fuel costs dropped 23% from their 2022 peaks, airline ticket prices have continued rising. Airlines are pocketing the difference as pure profit. The International Air Transport Association admits that fuel now represents only 25–30% of operational costs, down from 35–40% pre-pandemic, yet ticket prices reflect fuel costs as if they were still at historic highs. Here's the manipulation. Airlines present these fees as beyond our control while actually building massive profit margins into what should be temporary surcharges. Travelers should demand transparency about what portion of their ticket price is actually fuel-related versus pure airline profit. Secret 6, the deliberate schedule chaos strategy. Airlines want you to believe that flight delays and cancellations are just unfortunate operational realities. The truth is far more calculated and profit-driven. But here's what they don't tell you. Major carriers deliberately overbook and create unrealistic schedules because the profit from overbooking exceeds the cost of compensating bumped passengers. Internal airline documents show they budget for these operational disruptions as revenue opportunities. Industry insiders reveal that airlines purposely schedule connecting flights with minimal layover times, knowing that 15–20% of passengers will miss connections. This allows them to bump passengers to later, more expensive flights or offer courtesy rebooking for fees. The Department of Transportation data shows that airline on-time performance has actually gotten worse since 2019, despite fewer flights overall. This isn't incompetence, it's strategy. When your flight gets delayed, airlines profit from overpriced airport food, parking fees from extended stays, and rebooking charges. They literally make money from making your travel experience miserable. Here's the cruel reality. Airlines have calculated that passenger inconvenience is more profitable than operational efficiency. Secret 7, the credit card points devaluation scheme. Airlines have convinced millions of passengers that credit card points and frequent flyer miles are valuable rewards. In reality, they're sophisticated tools for customer manipulation and price inflation. But here's what they don't tell you. Airlines systematically devalue points by 20–30% annually, while simultaneously raising the number of points required for free flights. What cost 25,000 miles in 2020 now costs 40,000 plus miles for the exact same route. Financial analysis reveals that airline credit cards generate more profit for carriers than actual flights. Banks pay airlines $500, $1,000 for each new credit card, which is why they push these programs so aggressively. The real manipulation. When you book with points, you're still paying taxes and fees that often exceed $200, $400 per ticket. You're getting a free flight that actually costs hundreds of dollars. Airlines also restrict award availability to less desirable flights and times, forcing you to either use points inefficiently or pay cash for better options. This point's system manipulation effectively increases the real cost of travel while making passengers feel like they're getting deals. Secret 8. The merger monopoly that killed competition. The airline industry has convinced regulators that mergers create efficiency and lower prices for consumers. 20 years of consolidation later, we have the opposite: higher prices and worse service than ever. But here's what they don't tell you. Since 2005, major airline mergers have eliminated over 60% of domestic competition on most routes. Government studies show that on routes where mergers eliminated competition, prices increased by an average of 40–50% within 3 years. The airlines simply divide up territories and avoid competing on price. Internal documents from airline merger proceedings reveal executives explicitly discussing plans to optimize revenue, raise prices, once competition was eliminated. This wasn't accidental, it was the goal. The Federal Trade Commission's own analysis shows that airline mergers have cost consumers over $12 billion annually in higher fares, yet they continue approving these deals. Here's the brutal truth. Every major airline merger promised lower prices and delivered the exact opposite. Competition is dead, and passengers are paying the price. Secret 9. The technology fee explosion. Airlines have discovered that they can charge you for literally everything that used to be included in your ticket price, just by calling it a technology fee or convenience charge. But here's what they don't tell you. These digital services often cost airlines less than $1 per passenger to provide, yet they charge you $10–50 for access to basic booking functions. Want to choose your seat online? That's a $15–35 seat selection fee. Want to check in from your phone? Some carriers charge $5–10 for mobile convenience. Need to change your flight through their website? That's a $50–200 processing fee for a transaction that's completely automated. Industry analysis shows that these ancillary fees generate over $100 billion annually for airlines worldwide, money that used to be included in base ticket prices. The manipulation is calling these optional fees when they're actually essential services repackaged as premium add-ons. Airlines have essentially unbundled air travel and are selling you back the pieces at massive markups. Secret 10. The corporate travel subsidy scam. Airlines claim they need to charge high prices to leisure travelers because business travelers get discounts. This is completely backwards. Business travelers are actually subsidizing your flights, and airlines don't want you to know. Here's what they don't tell you. Corporate travelers typically pay 200–400% more than leisure passengers for identical seats. Airlines make most of their profit from the small percentage of business travelers, then use leisure travelers to fill empty seats. Internal airline revenue reports show that business and first-class passengers generate 60–70% of total flight revenue while occupying only 10–15% of seats. Airlines could technically offer much cheaper leisure fares and still be profitable. Airlines present high leisure prices as necessary when they're actually pure profit padding on top of their business travel revenue base. During economic downturns, when business travel decreases, airlines raise leisure prices to compensate, rather than operating on thinner but still profitable margins. This corporate subsidy model means leisure travelers are paying artificially inflated prices to maximize airline profits, not to cover actual costs. Secret 11. The route monopoly, money grab. On thousands of domestic routes, you have essentially no choice. 1 or 2 airlines control all the flights, and they price accordingly. But here's what they don't tell you. Airlines have quietly divided up the country into territorial monopolies. On 40% of domestic routes, a single airline controls more than 70% of flights, giving them total pricing power. Department of Transportation data reveals that on monopoly routes, airlines charge an average of 30–50% more than on competitive routes for identical distances and service levels. The real manipulation: airlines use hub fortress strategies where they dominate specific airports, making it nearly impossible for competitors to offer alternative flights to popular destinations. When Southwest or other low-cost carriers attempt to enter these monopoly markets, major airlines temporarily slash prices below cost to drive them out. then immediately raise prices higher than before once competition disappears. This route control allows airlines to charge whatever they want to passengers who have no alternative, essentially creating legal monopolies on travel between specific cities. Secret 12. The psychological pricing war against passengers. Airlines have invested millions in behavioral psychology research to find new ways to manipulate your booking decisions and extract maximum money from every transaction. But here's what they don't tell you. Those limited time offers and book now or lose this price warnings are generated by algorithms designed to create artificial urgency. Prices often drop after these deadlines pass. Airline booking sites use what psychologists call anchoring bias, showing you an expensive first-class option first, making the overpriced economy seat seem reasonable by comparison. Studies show this increases average spending by 15 to 25%. The most manipulative tactic, airlines A/B test different prices on the same flight simultaneously, charging different passengers different amounts based on psychological profiling of their browsing behavior. Internal airline documents reveal they hire behavioral economists specifically to design interfaces that maximize revenue per customer interaction, meaning every click is engineered to extract more money from you. This psychological manipulation represents billions in additional airline revenue extracted through pure behavioral exploitation, rather than providing any additional value to passengers. There you have it. 12 ruthless tactics airlines use to inflate prices while keeping passengers completely in the dark about what's really driving these insane costs. The airline industry has spent decades perfecting these manipulation strategies, while telling you that high prices are just market forces and operational necessities. The truth is, most of these price increases are pure profit padding achieved through psychological manipulation, artificial scarcity, and monopolistic practices. From browser tracking that penalizes smart shoppers to fake capacity shortages that create panic buying, airlines have turned air travel into a sophisticated wealth extraction system designed to separate you from your money at every possible opportunity. Which pricing manipulation shocked you most? Comment below and tell me about the worst airline pricing trick you've experienced. And if this opened your eyes to how airlines really operate, share this with someone who needs to know these secrets before their next booking. The more passengers who understand these games, the less effective they become.